Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Frank Smith, just one day out from Sonny Edwards versus Andres Campos. Big opportunity for Sonny Edwards, not just tonight, but moving forward. There's some big fights on the horizon.
Yeah, look, excited to get started with Sonny. You know, he's been a fighter we've looked at for a long time, and when we found out he was a free agent, you know, he was someone we really want to get hold of, as did a lot of promoters. You know, Sonny's a tremendous fighter. As Eddie said this week, he believes pound for pound one of the best fighter in the UK right now. You know, and there's not many world champions in the UK right now. So to sign a world champion, it was great news for us, and we were excited to get working. Campos, not an easy fight for Sonny as well. He's gone in there. You know, he could have probably looked to take an easier fight on his first outing with us, but he wanted the big fights, and he also wants to get ready for those big fights that he signed to us for. You know, the likes of Bam Rodriguez. That's a major fight, and that's what we're working towards the end of this year.
Sonny, is it a case of the last few years he hasn't had the exposure, coming to DAZN and coming to Matchroom? It's going to be a little bit new for him, some of the things that he's going to be chucked into, but he seems like he really just settles into those environments and he's ready for these big fights.
Yeah, look, you got to think about what a tremendous job Sonny Edwards has done for himself. You know, in the weight division he's in, the interest he's cultivated by himself, because he's an entertaining character. You know, and there's not tons of them in the sport. And he's really created something for himself by the work he's put in without too much external support. You know, he's delivered in the ring as well. He's a tremendous fighter. That obviously helps. But at the same time, he's built a character. So I think he's enjoyed, you know, we've been doing some great stuff with him. I think he's enjoyed the exposure, the push, and what he deserves, because he's a great fighter, and he backs it up, and he wants to do the work. He wants to do the media work. He wants to do everything around it. And you can't ask for more than that.
Nina Hughes achieved her dream of becoming a world champion, but now wants to unify, of course. It's an exciting division, really. You've got Ebony Bridges, you've got Shannon Courtney as well, who unfortunately pulled out of this fight. There's options for her. Which do you see the route she would take?
Yeah, look, I think Ebony Bridges will be back in the summer after she had a bit of an injury after the December fight. She'll be back sort of August time. You know, Nina Hughes, tremendous win in Dubai against Jamie Mitchell. You know, a lot of people didn't give her a chance in that fight, and now's her opportunity to really go on and sort of cement. You know, look, she's towards the later part of her career to go and do that, win a world championship. You know, and a lot of people counted her out in that fight. You know, big fights to be made. I think Dina Thorsland's going to fight the WBC, the Mexican champion, you know, and unify those belts. So there's exciting fights to be made in that division over the next year or so.
David Adelaide is fighting tonight and a possible contender for the British Heavyweight Championship against Fabio Wardley. But one other name that's been thrown into the mix is Dave Allen. Any surprise that Dave's been thrown into that mix? We haven't seen him out much, have we?
No, he had a fight recently. You know, he looks in great shape. He's been training hard, and you have to, you know, Dave's been through some tough times over the years, but I think he's in a good place. You know, he's had a baby. I think he's matured a lot, and I think he looks in great shape. I saw him at our show in Manchester a few weeks ago. That's an interesting fight, but there's lots of names floating around there for Fabio Wardley. We'll see how David Adelaide gets on. It's expected he'll be the next mandatory as well for the British title. Fabio probably having a sort of defence before that. But yeah, the next week or so that will all play out.
Elsewhere in the heavyweight division, Tyson Fury seems to be digging that hole a little bit deeper for himself every day. The options are getting less and less inside that top 15. Where are the options now for Tyson Fury, and what would you recommend him to do?
Look, our job isn't to represent Tyson Fury. It's obviously frustrating for them. You could probably tell by Frank Warren's interview the other day. It must be frustrating. They're struggling to find someone. You know, they were talking about Andy Ruiz. They couldn't agree a price for whatever reason. I don't know. Wasn't involved in those discussions, obviously. I think our focus is Anthony Joshua. Tyson Fury, there's a lot of talking. One day he's going to fight in Australia. The next day he wants to fight at Wembley. It's kind of like, it's a bit confusing. He's been fighting in April, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So, you know, don't get too consumed in that. You know, we're working on a plan for AJ to fight in August and then to fight in December. You know, if we can make the Deontay Wilder fight in December, it'd be massive. You know, the fight that a lot of people said AJ would never take. AJ wants the biggest test, and I think, you know, that's a massive fight if we can make it. I think they should be focused on trying to make Tyson Fury against Alexander Usyk. You know, create an undisputed heavyweight champion. We don't see it often enough in the sport, and if the opportunity's there to make it, they should make it. But there's so much talking in the heavyweight division. I think we should all just focus on doing our jobs rather than speaking detrimentally about each other, because it doesn't actually get anyone anywhere.
Spoke to Eddie yesterday. He said Dillian Whyte probably the front runner to face AJ in the summer at the moment. Do you see that as a stadium fight, or would it be back at the O2 for AJ, do you think?
O2's a potential, a stadium's a potential as well. We obviously got the football fixtures come out next week. We're looking at a few, I think June 15th, the football fixtures come out. We're working on a few stadium shows currently, so waiting on those. So we'll see. Stadium shows are tougher because of the football season. Outside of Wembley, you haven't got many options with the Premier League stuff going on. The football clubs aren't overly interested, is the reality, in holding fights because they got their core business to run a football club. So we'll see. But talk's still going on. It would be great. That's a massive fight. Him against Dillian Whyte is a huge fight if we can make it happen.
Chris Eubank Jr. against Liam Smith, is that completely dead in the water now, or do we still see that as a possibility?
Look, I don't promote Chris Eubank Jr. or Liam Smith, so it's not really my business. We're in talks to make Chris Eubank Jr. against Conor Benn. It's an exciting fight. Both guys want it. That's our focus. I'm not really involved in the Liam Smith or Chris Eubank Jr. business, so it's not for me to say on that one. But I know the focus for us is to make Chris against Conor Benn.
Regarding Conor Benn, he's still under investigation with UKAD. Some people have said that it's unethical maybe that he's negotiating fights. We've seen the Kell Brook fight come up as well. What's your response to that? Look,
we've been over this a million times. He was cleared by the WBC, put the testing in place. WBC are the governing the organisation that put the testing in place. He was cleared by them. We don't, but the UKAD situation is in regards to him fighting in the UK. Obviously, long term, we want Conor Benn to be able to fight in the UK. But at the same time, we can't hold up his career when he's been cleared by the party who ultimately matter. And if that means him fighting in another territory for now, that's what we have to do. But we're not taking away the focus from the long term. We want him to be able to fight in the UK.
Thank you very much for your time, Frank. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.